Get live reports from the sidelines throughout our game. Follow Aaron Dugan on Twitter at AaronFox56.
Marywood University is off to their best 8-game start in the history of the program. The Pacers are looking to continue their winning ways as we enter the new year.
Playing a little bit faster because we have depth, and we got a little bit more talent than we had in the past. So obviously when you have talent, the offense looks better.
Wilkes University has a new coach and a new spirit. The Colonels have used a tenacious defense and sharp shooting to get wins.
The change in the style of play, while maybe it looks dramatic on the court, really wasn't that difficult because these are tough-minded guys.
Game 1 of the Cross-County Challenge is on the way. It's Marywood and Wilkes next.
6'5" and all, he's going to reach for the end zone. He gets in, one guy to score, switches hands, and see you later.
This is another Fox 56 Sports presentation of the Rivalry of the Week on My Network TV. Brought to you by McCann School of Business and Technology.
And the celebration starts.
Tonight inside the Scanlon Gymnasium in Wilkes-Barre, old rivalries will be renewed and new ones will forge ahead in the Cross-County Challenge. Good evening, everyone. I'm Bob Ide. Coming up in Game 2, we'll have the University of Scranton and King's College. But first, Doug Walsh, we're talking Wilkes and Marywood. Let's talk about the Pacers first. Losers of their last 2 games before the break. A lot of new depth on this team, a lot of new talent, including Jeremy Ringland.
Bob, Jeremy Ringland, 6'7" out of Bangor High School, averages 11 points a game. He's the only guy that has double figures. He gets 4 rebounds a game. He shoots a real good percentage, 55% from the field, and he makes some threes every once in a while with 13 already.
Wilkes has lost their last 3, including a tough one the other night to Gettysburg. A very similar team to Marywood. They like to hit the outside shot. They'll need a big night from Steve Stravinsky.
Steve Stravinsky Jr., 6'4" out of Pittston area. He's a 3-point specialist along with Weiser. He's averaging 16 points a game and 7 boards. He blocks shots. He steals it. He does it at both ends of the floor.
Well, you had a chance to look at both teams before tonight's game. Doug, why don't you give us your keys to the game?
Bob, for Marywood, they want to drive the ball into the gap and set up their perimeter jump shooters. They also want to bring the big people for Wilkes outside high to defend. They're susceptible to back screens there. And lastly, there's going to be a lot of 3-point balls thrown up. There's going to be a lot of long rebounds tonight. Marywood has to get their fair share. On the other side of the coin, for Wilkes, they have to stop turning the ball over. They have 150 plus during the year. That's 15 a game. That's too many on the college level. They shoot 251 threes already. They like to use the pick and pop with Weiser and Stravinsky. And they have to finish games a little bit stronger. The turnovers that they're committing, some of them are coming late game, and that's not good.
And last year, remember, Doug, turnovers cost them as Pacers won the game on a last-second shot. So what will happen tonight in game number 1 of the Cross-County Challenge? We'll find out. The starting lineups and the opening tip are on the way.
The Rivalry of the Week on My Network TV is brought to you by McCann School of Business and Technology.
We're back at Kings. Here's the starting lineups for the Marywood Pacers. It'll be Kelleher. Barr gets his first start of the year. Rotel is playing very well. Velasquez and Ringland, again, one of the big guys in the middle. For the Wilkes Colonels, typical starting lineup, same has been for the whole season now. Weiser, Jackson, Hinkle, Bruner, and Stravinsky are your starting lineups for the Wilkes University Colonels. So we are back courtside, getting ready for tonight's tip. The referees, John Layton, Scott Young, and Chris DeLozer. So Marywood controls the tip. They are in the green and yellow. Wilkes, the home team tonight, in the white with gold trim.
Wilkes in their traditional man-to-man.
This is Kelleher. This is Ringland out. He can hit the 3-point from outside. Marywood playing very good basketball, and Rotel, first 2 of the night for the Valley View product, averaging 8.9 points per game.
Good dribble drive by Alex Barr. Drew the help, found Rotel for the jumper.
So the Colonels come in averaging 76 points per game. They shoot 45% from the floor, 35% from behind the arc.
Bob, excuse me, Bob. Both teams play the same game. Man-to-man, 4 out, 1 in. Try to free up perimeter shooters like Stravinsky just did.
There's what you talked about in your keys, getting long rebounds tonight. That one controlled by the Colonels. This is Weiser. And a turnover for the Colonels. So the referee's going to talk it over right now and see if it went off someone's foot, and evidently it did, and it will be the Colonels' ball out of bounds, reset the shot clock. They're going to go to, one has 18 seconds on the shot clock.
Hinkle looked puzzled, so he was probably right. It probably did go off Marywood player.
Jackson downtown for a shot, no good. And referees say it went off on a Colonel, so will be Marywood ball out of bounds.
That one definitely went off Hinkle, that's for sure. Bob Hinkle's a good offensive rebounder. He has a nose for the ball. Wilkes full court man-to-man. They might play that all night long.
Marywood averaging 77 points per game in their 5 wins. They shoot 45% from the floor, 34% from behind the arc, and Rotel again for his second bucket of the game.
Another 2-man game with Barr and Rotel. Got them 4 points already. Marywood switching on defense.
Bruner has played well, down low, couldn't find anything. Stravinsky's second long range, no good, and pulled down by Kelleher. Marywood looks to run, but they'll pull it back and set up their offense.
A lot of high screens with Marywood's offense.
Rotel does a lot of the dirty work inside. Ringland mostly a perimeter shooter.
They try to free up the shooter. If not, they'll try to get the roller.
Ringland an easy 2, missed. Here come the Colonels and Jackson back, trying to look for their first points of the game. Good defense of Kelleher to come back from behind. Marywood does not have the numbers, but Rotel took a couple extra steps.
Bob, a lot of blocks and a lot of steals come off help defense. You saw Shane Kelleher come over with the help defense with the steal. Ringland on Stravinsky, that's the matchup we said in the open. That'll be interesting.
Weiser downtown, off the back of the rim, and it goes back over to Marywood. So the Colonels still struggling from the floor here early on. They did.
Historically, Bob, excuse me, this is a tough gym to shoot jumpers in.
Wilkes does have a bit of an advantage. They played in the Monarch Classic here in December, 2 games. They won a very good game against Susquehanna, that actually lost it against Susquehanna. And they lost to Gwinnett Mercy, who's a very, very good team in Division III.
Everybody loses to Gwinnett.
Yeah, a lot of teams do. So our first foul on the floor will be called. It looks like it will go against Wilkes.
Yeah, Stravinsky has his hands full down with the bigger Ringland down low. Held him a little bit. Wilkes plays man-to-man versus the out-of-bounds underneath.
Tried to look for Rotel down low, couldn't find him. It goes back out to Alex Barr, who's very good Surrey in his own right. Starting over Connor Calais has started most of the year, as Rotel gets his 3rd bucket. He has 6, all 3 of the baskets for Marywood.
Good 2-man game, pick and roll.
Stravinsky there to lay it up and in, get a tip in off of the Bruner shot. This is Kelleher, won't count, go on the floor, so Colonels will pick up their 2nd foul, and it will go against Jackson.
2 hands on him, automatic.
So Marywood, we talked about their depth. Well, they'll rotate just like a hockey team, 5 in, 5 out. Left hand, Calais is on the floor. And it's a turnover. Jackson looking for the easy lay-in. And he gets it. And So Marywood lead now down to 2.
They run a lot of high screens with Cameron Dean, number 30.
Dean and Daniel Tintle are in. So that will be our first time out on the floor. 15:44 remaining. The Pacers have a 2-point lead over the Colonels. You know a student of the cross-county teams or a fan of today's rivalry teams that is away for the holidays? Call them now and tell them they can watch the game on any computer, tablet, or smartphone wherever they are. Go to myfoxnepa.com for a high-quality live stream now. So here's the replay. Good turnover. Wilkes was down early 6, but they come back with a little defense.
Long inbounds pass. Jackson tipped it away into Stravinsky's hands. Jackson kept going. Easy 2.
So it's been Mike Rotel, the freshman out of Valley View, has all 6 points for Marywood, but he is on the bench. James Curley is in number 32, and he takes the shot. No good. So a new 5 for Marywood. No substitutions yet for Wilkes, and almost tied it. And he'll get a no shot clock.
Cameron Hinkle strong going to the basket for Wilkes. Mason Gross out of Pittston with the baseline jumper.
So Mason Gross, the 6'5" freshman, averages 4.9 points per game, shooting 60%. He gets his first 2 right there. We're tied at 6 after an early 6-0 lead by Marywood.
Both teams use a lot of players.
Connor Calais couldn't hit Cameron Dean out of Montrose, so a turnover now for Marywood.
Calais struggling a little bit with his turnovers, Bob. That's why Barr got the start.
Colonels coached by Izzy Metz, first year, taking over for Jerry Rickroad. This is Shane Ledhand, who actually had the game-winning shot a year ago when Marywood came back from a big deficit. So 6 unanswered now for the Colonels, and we'll have a foul out on the floor.
Ledhand, a great defender. Put a hand on him, though. You have to call that. Last year, Ledhand drove them nuts, causing numerous turnovers.
Weiser, short. Here come the Pacers back the other way. Holy Cross product, Connor Calais. Dean, little short jumper, no good. So Marywood's gone cold after an early start. Good pass to Hinkle from Gross.
Mason Gross, good interior passer for a big man.
Wilkes their first lead of the night. Calais' shot no good. Jackson gonna push it. Now we have a bit of a track meet going on. Neither team finding the basket.
Both teams like this pace, Bob. They want to get it up in the 75 area if they could.
Finding Tintle low is Ledham. His first 2 for Daniel Tintle, the junior.
Good dribble drive and a bounce pass. Tintle with the finish.
That breaks the 8-0 run from the Colonels, and we're tied again.
Ledhand got a hand in there on defense. He's all over the place.
This is Hinkle. It's like a hockey game out here. Back and forth they're going.
Wilkes will look the trap out of this man-to-man. There goes Hinkle with the trap.
Marywood going to try to use their depth tonight, wear down Wilkes a little bit. As you already saw, 10 deep now. 10 guys have played for Marywood. No foul called.
Good defense by Hartman, straight up with the hands.
Out of bounds to Jeremy Hartman, the 6'3" senior. We saw him in the Mayor's Cup game, the tight end.
Izzy Metz wants to talk it over.
And we have a 30-second timeout on the floor.
Both of these teams, Bob, mirror images of each other. They both like to run. They both like to use man-to-man full court pressure. They both go deep. They both play the perimeter game. Good passes in the post. Whoever executes best is probably going to come out on top.
So Marywood, second season under Bob Simmons. Went out on the recruiting trail very heavy. Of course, he played at Wilkes from 1990 to 93 and then was an assistant there. Most recently, before Marywood, he was an assistant coach at Division I Ball State. And I know he's definitely takes it very seriously, does Bob. He's out on the recruiting trail. Did a nice job bringing in some guys maybe other teams were looking at, but he feels, you know, with his background and the way he's coached and the way he's seen talent around the country that he thinks he can see something maybe some other coach don't see, and we have seen that so far. Best start on the season in the first 8 games for Marywood.
Yeah, he's got a good mix of local talent, Bob, and some outsiders. He's got some size. He's got some strong players. He's got some good defenders. It'll take him a while to get the team that he wants.
Rotel back into the game. And it's Kelleher too, a little fade, no good. Rebound Hartman. So the Colonels off to a slow start have heated up a little bit. Way short by Hartman. And we're gonna have a foul on the backside, on the offensive side on, looks like Gross.
Yeah, Mason Gross got a little aggressive going for that rebound. But you don't mind that, Bob. Offensive, trying to get an offensive rebound. You don't mind picking up a foul there. Good aggressive play.
Marywood 4 of 11 so far tonight. Wilkes 5 of 15. So both teams will launch the rock, Doug, and keep going all night long.
Yeah, again though, Bob, not so sure. This is a tough place to shoot, so it'll be interesting to see who settles down first.
Let hand from downtown, Doug.
Yeah.
Big three.
As we speak, he was out there too.
First 3 of the night for either team. Marywood back out in front. Let hand with the travel. So timeout on the floor, 11:25 remaining in this first half. Back and forth they've gone, and finally someone launches and gets a three-pointer, Doug.
Shane let in deep. He begged him to come out and play defense. He didn't come out far enough. Right in your eye.
2-point lead, 1-point lead for Marywood. So Let Hand gets his 10th three of the season, and Marywood out in front now by 1. They held a 6-0 lead, Doug Walsh, but Wilkes has played back and forth. And again, you talked about the mirror images of both teams. I think we're going to see most of this back and forth as the night goes on.
Yeah, they both play pretty much the same game. I think tonight, Bob, you might want to see a little zone from Marywood, or you want to see a little bit more post play, change things up a little bit. Wilkes is having success down low.
Wilkes just shooting 29% from the floor. Marywood 41% here early on. Both teams have gone to the bench a little bit, and some of the starters back in. Weiser downtown, no good. Ringland, a good rebound.
Marywood switching on defense, keeping Ringland and Rotel near the basket for rebounding.
Alec Weiser saw the lane, and we're going to call a jump ball, and will remain the Colonels. Weiser averaging 17 points per game. It's 28 threes on the year, averages 2.5 rebounds per game. Big thing with him, though, I noticed, 24 assists, 29 turnovers.
Yeah, that's the problem with Wilkes, as we said in the open bar. They're turning it over 151 times. 15 times a game is way too many in a college game.
Hinkle's long-range shot, no good.
Mike Rotel coming into his own. didn't see much playing time early, but now you can't keep him out of the lineup. He's playing so well. Freshman out of Valley View High School.
He also can get to the free throw line, and it looks like we'll have an offensive foul against Marywood. Rotel's first foul going back the other way. Bob Simmons questioning the referee on that.
He thought he wasn't set, and he thought he didn't stay set. He moved a little bit on the screen.
So neither team has scored in a minute and a half of gameplay. Stravinsky back into the game. And another turnover for Wilkes as Gefredo couldn't find anyone underneath. So we'll keep an eye on the TOs.
Bob Ringland guarding Stravinsky, pushing Stravinsky out a little bit farther than he feels comfortable with. Ringland's size having an effect on Stravinsky. Alex Bard looks like a seasoned veteran handling the ball.
This is Kelleher, finds Rotel. Rotel underneath again. Doing it all. Picks up a rebound and has 8 points of the Marywood 13.
Strong inside. Wasn't going to be denied. Barr with the steal.
Another turnover for Wilkes. And Barr will go to the line.
Wilkes a little lackadaisical with the basketball.
Well, Alex Barr coming in from Voorhees, New Jersey. Seeing 17 minutes of play, but coach has been very impressed about his practice, the way he hustles in practice, and he's out playing a little bit of Connor Calais, who was expected to be the point guard coming in, and he's pushed him a lot, and tonight he earned the start.
Well, a couple of reasons, Bob. Look at me, he's a stronger boy than Connor Calais says. He's a little taller, he's a little beefier. He drives the ball better to the basket, and Calais is struggling with his turnovers. Barr is not turning it over as much, so you add all those three up, and Barr has to be in the game.
Baseline, no good. Weiser, offensive foul. Rotel there, getting in front. So Weiser's first foul, 6th already on.
Yeah, here it is again. Rotel, he was set. You can see that he was set. The ball had not been released out of his hand, so the basket does not count.
Barr no good. And last touch looks like by the Colonels. So Cameron Dean back in for Mike Rotel. Dean out of Montrose, a 6'7" freshman, averaging 17.5 minutes per game. So Bob Simmons again going 10 deep so far tonight.
Marywood got some size. Two guys at 6'7" with Dean and Ringland.
Yep, tipped by Velasquez last. Over to the Colonels it goes.
Well, unfortunately, Dean and Ringland were running the pick and roll with each other. I think you need a guard in that situation there. Ringland a little uncomfortable handling the ball out there.
So here's the 11th guy we'll see tonight from Marywood. This is Brian DeMonte Jr. out of the Syracuse area, freshman, back from an injury. And it goes against the Colonels. An illegal screen called. Now Jackson is second. Gross back into the game for Bruner now.
Yeah, not set. They're not set on the screens. You have to be. You can't move.
Rotel, the leading scorer so far for Marywood, has 8 of the 14. He's on the bench, so Pacers will look for someone to pick up. Still man-to-man from the Colonels. Barr to the glass, lays it up and in.
Yeah, good strong take to the hole and the finish.
And there you see little bit bigger body, was able to control it more as he was going to get bumped going to the basket.
And you're right, Bob. He did get bumped, and he didn't get bumped off the ball, so he's a strong player.
Stravinsky finds it from 3. His first 3 of the night. He averages 41% out there. He has 5 so far.
Velasquez cheated too far off him to try to help, gave him too much room. You can't give Stravinsky that kind of room.
DeMonte, no good. Oh, he gets the roll. That was coming back.
And it's 3. Another turnover.
Travel on the floor. Did we get a timeout? It should be our timeout. It is 7:28 remaining. Marywood surged ahead by 6 over the Colonels.
The rivalry of the week on My Network TV is brought to you by McCann School of Business and Technology.
Monday night is a night of anticipated television viewing. Starting at 8, an original episode of Gotham. Before there was Batman, there was Jim Gordon. See the epic story of how Gotham City gave birth to the superheroes and the villains known worldwide. Followed by an original episode of Sleepy Hollow. The shows every critic is talking about are on Monday night at 8, only on Fox 56. So, Stravinsky downtown.
You see Velasquez go a little too far. Gave Stravinsky
The
too much
rivalry
room.
of
So Stravinsky, that was a big 3, but Marywood has jumped out 19 to 13. Lead hand off the mark.
Yeah, he forced that one. Hinkle right in his face.
Bruner low into Tinto. He'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Zach Bruner thought the foul was a little too hard.
So it's the 3rd team foul on the Pacers.
Bob, I think if you're Wilkes, you want to go down low inside a little bit more. They had success down there. They're relying too much on the jumpers.
Here's the foul.
Yeah, he bumped him a little bit. Zach Bruner didn't like it.
Bruner a little bit bigger and I would say outweighs Tinto by a little bit.
Yeah, he didn't like him hanging on him.
Shane Kelleher back into the game, replacing DeMonte Jr.
Zach Bruner, decent foul shooter, 70%.
So 2 from Bruner, his first 2 points of the night. And the Wilkes has cut the lead to 4 now.
Wilkes with the full court trap.
Calais, 3-on-1. Back from behind to take care of that was Devin Dunn, the junior. And he's a little fired up.
Yeah, he picked up a technical, screaming after he made the block. I think they got him for a tee. Showing the opponent up, screaming like that, not going to be tolerated.
So a mistake there from the junior. Calais will shoot 2 and 71% foul shooter is Calais. His first 2-1 of the night is good.
Connor Calais, a real good foul shooter. 7 minutes to go in the first half now, Bob. Marywood from now on shooting 1-on-1 on a common foul.
So the biggest lead of the night is 6 from Marywood. Remains that now for the Pacers, and they can increase that on this possession.
There you have Stravinsky laying all over Tintle. He'll go to the line now for 1-on-1.
So Stravinsky picks up his 2nd foul. So let's see. He'll come out now, I think. They have to sit.
Yeah,
Weiser will check back into the game.
Yeah. Sub 1 3-point shooter in for another. Ideally, you'd like to have both on the floor at the same time, but now with the foul trouble, you can only have one. Izzy Metz still working over the official over the technical foul call.
Tinto with 3 now, looking for number 4. Nice crowd on hand here at the Scanlon, despite the students not being here.
And if you're Wilkes now, you got to pound it inside. Get Bruner involved, maybe even Hinkle down low.
Biggest lead of the night for the Pacers. It's up to 8. Cardinals looking for anything to go their way. Had some turnovers, technical fouls, and now we have a foul on the Pacers.
Shane Kelleher has his hands full down there with Hinkle. Hinkle's a good post player.
Goes against Kelleher, his first foul of the night. Kelleher still looking for his first points. So it comes back out to Tyler Jackson, the sophomore. He'll set it up for Wilkes. Weiser fouled on the floor by Tintle again, who tried to guard him outside. That's a tough task anytime you do that.
2 hands on him, automatic.
So our 12th player of the night so far for Marywood. We'll see Corey Calais out of Valley View, the 6'4 junior.
Cousin to Connor.
Bruner lost Let Hand, looking the other way.
Yeah, they got caught up in a bad switch. Let Hand is way too small to be guarding Gross down, or Zach down low, Zach Bruner.
Calais, no good. Kelleher, a tough rebound. It would be called for a jump ball. It will remain Marywood ball.
Didn't take Calais long to get one up. First touch, 7 seconds into the game.
Pacers 8 of 20 on the night.
Having a little trouble getting the ball in bounds. Oh, here's Let Hand on the drive. Kicks it back out. Calais had to take it. He's wide open. Little off the mark. Good rebound by Kelleher.
Turnover for Marywood. Jackson smartly gives it to Weiser. 33% shooting in the first half for the Colonels. 7 of 21 from the floor. And turnover. Wilkes.
Another Wilkes turnover. It's hard to win basketball games when you give the other team many more possessions. Actually, if you're Wilkes, you're thinking, boy, we're lucky to only be down 6 with all the turnovers we have.
5 points off of turnovers for Marywood. Let's see if they can make it 7 on this possession. Kelleher, the hoop and the harm, go to the line, the shoot conventional 3-point play.
Yeah, looked like he was just inside the arc. No doubt about the foul.
So Kelleher, great balance off that. The senior out of Dayton, Maryland. Completes the 3-point play. Now he's got 4 on the night. Averaging 8.5 points per game. Does a lot more with his leadership this year. And a very young Marywood team. Inside Hartman has the body size and takes down Calais.
Yeah, Zach Bruner and Jeremy Hartman, good in a high-low game. Every time the ball has been down low, Wilkes has had some success.
So both teams a little chatty tonight on the floor. Now Weiser will talk to the referee. Rotel leading Marywood with 8. Tintle has 4. As Marywood has played 12 players tonight already.
Great defense by Cameron Hinkle on top, but Let Hand made him pay for playing out that high.
Dean took an elbow inadvertently from Bruner. Now those two will be matched up underneath.
Zach Bruner begging for the ball down low.
9-point advantage for Marywood, biggest lead of the night. For either team, will foul on the floor on Let Hand. So it'll be the 6th foul on the Pacers, so no 1-on-1 yet for Wilkes.
Both teams using a lot of players. They, don't forget they got to come back and play tomorrow at 1 o'clock and 3 o'clock.
We'll see the University of Scranton and Kings in game number 2. And tomorrow, Wilkes will play
Bob Simmons put Mike Rotel in there to play some defense on Zach Brunner. A little bit stronger. Brunner was getting his way down there with everybody else.
Back to Weiser, long three, got it. Alec Weiser from downtown cuts into the lead.
You know, a shooter's mentality, Bobby, especially Weiser. Even though you miss a few, you got to keep shooting.
Full court press from Wilkes. Rotel might have got away with a walk there.
Wilkes bench certainly thought so.
Barr in and out, foot on the line. Under 4 to play in the first half, the Cross County Challenge, game number 1. Weiser blocked. And Hartman can't get it to go. Marywood would slow it down now. So Alex Barr, Voorhees, New Jersey freshman, will slow it down.
Want to make Wilkes play some defense for 20, 25 seconds. Run your offense.
Kelleher, good rotation, count it.
Boy, coming off a good block down the other end off help defense. Spots up nice. Knocks down the 3.
6 for him. And this one will be kicked out of bounds. So 3 minutes left in the first half. Marywood with a 9-point lead over the Colonels in the Cross County Challenge. Izzy Metz and the Wilkes Colonels trying to get back into this one. Marywood has had a big lead, 9 points, and they surged ahead, Doug Walsh. How have the Pacers done that?
A little out of sorts. They have Wilkes a little out of sorts. They're turning the ball over. They're pressuring them. Wilkes is not getting the ball down low enough, relying too much on the outside jumper, and it's they're not falling. Marywood, on the other hand, running their offense, being patient, playing a little bit more under control.
Wilkes shooting 36% from the floor. Marywood up in the mid-40s, 45. Turnaround no good for Gross. Pacers don't have the number. And Dean's gonna be called for a travel. Excuse me, Ringland. So Marywood's doing it with some hot shooting. Shooting 50% from 3 points, 3 of 6 also helps for Marywood. 2 of 10 for Wilkes from long range. Hinkle Kelleher doing battle down low.
Kelleher, good defense. They're trying to get Hinkle down low.
Rose camping out in the lane. Jackson can't get the roll. Tipped around. Finally, a battle on the floor. Will call a jump, and it will stay to the Colonels.
Good job. Cameron Hinkle on the boards. He's everywhere. Tipping balls up, keeping balls alive on the floor. Good basketball player.
Coming up at the half, we'll talk to Mark Barnes, swimming coach at Wilkes, and we'll also hear from both coaches who will lead their teams in game number 2 of the Cross County Challenge from Scranton and Kings. That's with Aaron Dugan coming up at the half. Weiser front of the rim, no good.
Weiser thought about the first one, but it was way too far out. He said he wasn't going to pass up the second one. Alex Barr stepped on the line.
So it goes over to the Colonels. Izzy Metz calls out the play.
Mason Gross, good passer. And they'll go post him up.
Weiser, good job taking it in. Gross right there, picks up the garbage.
Good play by Jeremy Hartman. He couldn't get it, but he had the presence to tip it over to Mason Gross.
Marywood does have a timeout to play with if they want to use it. Have to use a 30 in the first half. Rotel, no good. Jackson the push. Weiser just cannot find anything out there. And Ringland knocks it out of bounds.
Boy, good job by Tyler Jackson, taking it into the lane, spotting up Weiser, found him. Weiser just couldn't knock it down. Here he is, taking it deep, finding Weiser. He knew where he was. Weiser just can't buy a basket.
Ringland sits, Dean is in. Nice interchangeable players there, Doug. 168, 167.
Yeah, that's a good trade-off.
So new shot clock for Wilkes. Hartman bodying up Velasquez. That's the roll.
Hartman a little upset. He's looking for a foul.
Let's see if Marywood realizes they have a timeout left. Kelleher goes in. He'll go to the line.
Yeah, Cameron Hinkle a little upset that his teammate didn't stop the dribble drive all the way down the basket.
So Kelleher, very good free throw shooter, goes to the line, shooting 50% on the year.
He's got good form, good rotation, nice soft touch. Shane Kelleher does a lot of things well. He can shoot it, he plays defense, he rebounds, hits foul shots.
Came in with 4 of 8 hits, 2 right there, and there's that 30-second timeout called from Marywood. We'll stay right here, 38 on the clock left. Pacers continue to hold on to a very tough lead, and let's talk about the Wilkes University Colonels. Izzy Metz comes in, takes over for Jerry Rickrode, was the director of basketball operations at Boston College, also an assistant coach up there, so it's a Division I pedigree from him, and was head coach at Hobart College.
Bob, he was a good friend of Steve Donahue's, who was at Cornell, and a friend of mine as well. Coached at Penn, then he went up to Cornell. Took Izzy Metz with him up to Boston College, and when the job opened up here, they thought about maybe Stevie coming down, but he has one more year. He got fired at Boston College, but he still has one more year in his contract, $800,000. So if you take a pay cut to come and coach here, so he said, all right, well, how about my assistant? Why don't you take him?
And so Izzy Metz comes down. He's been very grateful as Jerry Rickrode has taken a new position at Wilkes University, and he's been at a lot of the games. I've seen him, and he's even helped Izzy a little bit along the way. And Izzy gives him a lot of credit with the players that are on the floor currently.
Now, if you're Marywood, you don't want to foul because Wilkes is in the bonus if you foul them. So you want to play good, strong defense, get a rebound, and push it up the floor. See if you can score before the buzzer.
Next foul for Marywood will be a 1-on-1 situation. Jackson, what a move. And he'll go to the line.
Oh, boy. That was quick off the dribble, Tyler Jackson. Set him up beautifully. Crossover. Yeah, Velasquez can't handle him out there.
So he'll go to the line. Shoot 2.
Yeah, they got caught in a bad switch with Velasquez guarding Tyler Jackson. That's a mismatch.
Jackson's 63% foul shooter. As a team, Wilkes shoots about 70% from the charity stripe. That one was no good. So 8 seconds remaining in this first half. Marywood with time to run a play.
Yeah, plenty of time with 8.4 left. You got time to take 3 or 4 dribbles, maybe run a high screen and roll and get one up.
Marywood has controlled this game since the 11:25 mark.
They got
Kelleher
ahead.
A little soft on the jumper, and that will do it.
Short-armed it a little bit.
So Marywood jumped out to a 6-0 lead. Wilkes came back, but then Marywood surged ahead, and they take a 7-point lead into the break. Coming up at the half, we'll have some interviews with Aaron Dugan on the sidelines, and then Doug and I will be back to break down your first half. Marywood 33, Wilkes 26 in game number 1 of the Cross County Challenge.
The rivalry of the week on My Network TV is brought to you by McCann School of Business and Technology.
And welcome back to King's College, everyone. You're watching live college basketball on My Network TV. This is the Cross County Challenge, game 1 of 2. We're at halftime of the first game right now. Marywood 33, Wilkes 26 at the half. And stick around a little bit later on. for King's College and the University of Scranton. I'm Erin Dugan. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We're going to be talking to a few special guests throughout the evening, and our first guest joins me right now. This is Mark Barnes. He is the head swim coach at Wilkes. Thanks for being here tonight.
Thanks for having me, Erin.
So it's your first year as head coach. It's also the first year for the swim program at Wilkes. What is that process like, just taking the helm of a program for the first year?
For me, it was a great choice. The last two places I've coached at Danville and Bloomsburg High School, they both had coaches who were there for 17 and 20 years. The Bloomsburg coach was my coach. So I always had, was always in a legendary coach's shadow. So when I heard about this program starting up brand new, it originally was a girls team, and then eventually they decided to go with boys too. It was a no-brainer for me to be, let me see what I actually can do and see if I am as good as a coach that I thought I was.
Well, how about your background as a swim coach? Where did you coach and how did things go for you?
My first year, I started in 2005 at Danville High School. I was there for 4 years. While there, I had about 40 kids on the team, and we won 4 straight District 4 titles down there. The girls team went undefeated for all 4 years. And I ended up in 2008 having my first state champion in the 50 and 100 freestyle in AA. Then an opportunity came up, like I said, back in my alumni, where my head coach decided to retire, so I was asked to take over that position. I was there for 3 years. We had another successful boys program at that time, and we won 3 straight district titles there, and I ended up having a boy who was also a state champion at 200 IM and 100 breaststroke. Then my wife and I, we've decided to have children, so I took 2 years off where I coached 1 swimmer, and when this opportunity came up, my wife and I talked, and we decided that it was the best choice to go ahead and try for it.
That's great. So first year program, of course, there's going to be kinks to work out. There's going to be issues getting enough people out for the team, getting the word out. But do you have any goals for the team this year?
Our goal was, my first goal was met. I wanted to have at least 11 swimmers on the team. We ended up actually having 23 swimmers on the team right now for our first year, so I'm very pleased with that. We've lost some here and there throughout the year, and we've also gained some towards the end of the year. The other goal is, to get some MAC qualifiers for our conference championships, and we have that. We have 4 boys and about 6 girls who qualify for MAC, so that's also a bonus. The biggest one right now is to see if we can get somebody to medal our first year in the conference. And, we have a good chance of a boy and a girl and a couple of relays also to medal. The biggest thing right now is our recruiting. Everybody's a walk-on on our team right now. There's no recruits. So the last couple weeks I've been traveling around New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, trying to recruit for next year's team.
Great. Well, best of luck to you, and
thank you.
I hope you have a great first year.
Thank you, Erin.
All right, we're going to have a couple more special guests when we come right back. Stick around. Well, welcome back to King's College, everyone. You're watching live college basketball on My Network TV. This is the Cross County Challenge. We're halftime right now on Game 1. Marywood 33, Wilkes 26 at the half, but you definitely want to stick around for Game 2, which will be King's College and the University of Scranton. And I have both head coaches with me right now. Thanks for joining me, guys. Let's talk a little bit about being here first at King's with Coach Andreyko. So much fun, this Cross County Challenge. What's it like to host it here this year?
We're thrilled to have everybody here. When we started this 4 years ago, that was one of the big things we talked about was changing the gyms every year. It's great for the local community. Everyone can come out and see all 4 teams in one area. For this year, Luzerne County gets to host it, so everyone from here has an easy ride. They have to take the ride down, which is not bad. But no, we are thrilled to have 4 really good teams here today, and it should be a fun weekend.
So for those who haven't seen your team yet, tell us about the makeup of your squad this year.
We are a young team this year. We start 3 freshmen, sophomore and a junior. We have some young guys coming off the bench. They're a very exciting team. Exciting because sometimes I don't know what we're going to be doing. Consistency is always a challenge with young kids, but defensively they've been working really hard. They do a nice job. Offensively we're up and down, but they're getting better every day, and that's the thing I like. They're working hard, they're improving, and I like where we're going.
How about the University of Scranton? You've seen them in the Cross County Challenge the last couple of years. What do you see about their team?
See a lot of the same names, which concerns me. A veteran team who knows how to play. Individually, some very good players. As a team, they play well together, won a lot of games. They know how to win. It's going to be a great challenge for our kids tonight, and I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks, Coach. Good luck.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thanks for coming down.
Sure. Let's move along now to the University of Scranton coach Carl Danzig. You've never lost a Cross-County Challenge game. You're 6-0. How does that feel? Is there a little bit of confidence coming in knowing that?
Well, thanks for adding some pressure. No, we've been very fortunate, and We understand what these games are all about. They're very competitive. We love the local rivalry of it all, and I'm just happy that my kids are, get up for the games because they understand how important they are for us as the University of Scranton.
As Coach Andreyko mentioned, a lot of the same names. I can't believe we're still talking about your son Ross, Klingman, these guys. They've been playing together forever. They have such a nice, tight-knit group going on right now. What's that like for you?
It's great. They almost coach themselves, and I find myself in the huddle sometimes, and they're not even listening to me because they've heard it all. But it's a lot of fun, and when you got a couple kids that have been playing ball with each other since they were 9 years old, they know what each other's going to do out on the court, and we have real good harmony.
And such a special relationship, of course, with your son Ross. His final year, what are you going to do without him next year?
Yeah, it's we lean on him a lot, but I'm really just going to miss him as a person. We have a lot of fun. We've built a lot of great memories. What's really neat for me is now having my other son here, and he's been here to play with his brother, which is really cool, and that'll be a lifetime of memory for him too.
He'll be Danzig's for years.
Well, we're coming to an end, I hope. My wife wants to.
Hey, good luck.
Thank you so much. I appreciate everything.
Right. We'll see you guys when we come right back here on My Network TV.
Both teams are back on the floor at the Scanlon Gymnasium, and Wilkes-Barre getting ready for half number 2 in game number 1 of the Cross County Challenge. Bob-I, Doug Walsh, courtside. Glad you could join us here on My Network TV. Little college basketball action. And Doug, Marywood opened up the lead. Wilkes came back, and then Marywood extended that lead a little bit later on. They've held that lead throughout since the 11:25 mark of the first half. So as we take a look at some highlights from the first half, we'll see how Wilkes gets back into it, finally going low.
Yeah, Mason Gross, baseline step back jumper. He has 8 points in the first half. Uncharacteristically, they like to shoot a lot of threes. They are shooting a lot of threes, but their bread and butter tonight is downside with Mason Gross.
This is Gross with a nice rebound. He gets it up.
Hartman tipped it over to him off the Weiser drive, and Mason Gross with the finish.
So Gross playing some good basketball, has 2 rebounds coming in. On the other side, Marywood shooting some very good percentage, 11 of 26 from the floor, but Mike Rotel got things started early on.
Yeah, the nice pick and roll game with Alex Barr. Looked like they've been playing together for years. You see Kelleher with the dump down into Rotel. He misses this one, but he gets his rebound, a strong rebound, and finishes back in.
And from the floor, they've hit some big-time three-pointers. As
you see Gross.
This is Hartman.
Up. Yeah, posting up. A good block by Kelleher. Hartman couldn't finish.
So Marywood hits a couple of big threes in that. 3 from 6 from three-point land are the Pacers. Meantime, Wilkes 2 of 13 from out there. So as we take a look at some of the halftime stats, Keller hits that 3. You see three-pointers from Marywood, rebounds advantage to the Colonels, which is not surprising. 2 steals, and there you see the fouls on the floor. Turnovers, 8 apiece for each team, but it's the points off turnovers, Doug, that's really been the difference. 8 for Marywood, 2 for Wilkes.
Yeah, and therein lies the difference in the game with the 7-point lead. But there's an old saying, if you live by the 3, you die by the 3. And as it stands now, Wilkes is kind of dying by the 3, but they're still in it. They're only down 7. They're thrilled to be down 7 after not playing as well as they can.
So it'll be Pacer ball. They're in the green. Wilkes is in the white. Both teams coming in off of some losses, like to get this 2015 year underway on a positive note. Kelleher downtown, no good. But Barr's right there. Rebound, uses his body and gets it.
Good start to the second half. Barr beats his man off the dribble. Finds Kelleher wide open for an open look. Garners the rebound, hangs in the air, draws the foul.
So Barr looking for his 6th point of the night. Averages about 7 on the year, and he puts that one in.
Good start for the Pacers in the second half.
So both teams will play tomorrow here in the Cross County Challenge. Jackson in front of the rim. Well, that about sums up the first half. Can't hit the long range, but they do get a couple of rebound opportunities.
Yeah, Hinkle's everywhere.
Rotel taking on Weiser. Ringland, turn around, the big man gets it over Stravinsky.
Boy, he's got a nice soft touch for a big fella.
That's actually Ringland's first points of the night, believe it or not. And now Marywood has their biggest lead of the night, which is 10.
Tyler Jackson stepped on the line on the drive. Another Wilkes turnover.
9 turnovers. What you do after the turnovers that's really been part of the storyline so far tonight.
Yeah, well, turnovers are certainly part of the game,
That's
but
right.
you can't give them too many extra possessions.
Marywood, of course, playing in the Colonial States Athletic Conference. Going to league play next week as Rotel takes it and be called for an offensive foul. Good job by Stravinsky to take that.
Yeah, good two-man game. You see the slip of the screen here. He comes and screens, rolls off it. Stravinsky set. Good call.
So that's...
Bob Simmons thought it was a flop. Thought he was too deep.
So the first foul of the half for Marywood goes to Rotel. That's his third. He'll stay on the floor as Marywood has gone 12 deep so far tonight.
Now, first two possessions, Wilkes takes the ball strong to the basket. They may have talked about that at halftime, relying too much on the three. You know, too, Bob, you can't get to the foul line if you shoot jumpers all night long either.
And that's what Wilkes has been doing all night long. They did trail Gettysburg most of the night the other night on Tuesday at home. Weiser's shot goes back in the rim. They did forge a comeback, but it was a little too late. And Gettysburg went on to win that game, 69-66. Wilkes' last win came against Manhattanville in Freedom Conference play, and that was all the way December 6th.
Yeah, they turned the ball over a couple times down the stretch in that game as well, Bob.
Hinkle called with a foul, second of the half for the Colonels.
Plays with so much energy, Hinkle. He kind of held him a little bit. Wouldn't let him come to the ball.
Here's the senior Kelleher out of Maryland. Barr couldn't get it. Jackson surveying the court. Finds and cutting Hinkle. Can't get it to go, but he'll go to the line to shoot 2.
Hinkle gets up and down the floor. So you go into the basket, Bob, you get to the foul line, you pick up fouls. Standing out there shooting jumpers, nobody's going to foul you out there. Hinkle 65% from the line. Not bad.
He misses that one. So just 1 point there for Wilkes.
See Mets hollering for ball pressure.
Tough shot from the corner from Kelleher. You talked about the tough angles here to shoot.
Yeah, the background makes it a little difficult.
Stravinsky cutting in. Weiser finds him. The Pittston area native lays it in for his 7th point, and they cut back into the Pacer lead.
Intensity on the defensive end is picked up in the second half for Wilkes.
And a foul on the floor. What's changed for Wilkes?
Well, you know,
when Coach Metz has come in.
They, you know, when you have a new coach, the players are kind of like the same for the last year or two, but he's got a new system. He's got a new way of doing things. And sometimes it's hard for the players to adjust and figure out what the new coach wants. change your ways a little bit. What was good for the last guy isn't good for this cat. So there's a transition period, and it's tough for both. It's tough for both the coach and the players.
Ringland got fouled. I think he was behind the arc. He'll go to the line to shoot 3.
Yeah, Stravinsky got a little aggressive, going out and challenging him.
That's Stravinsky's 3rd foul, so we'll have to keep an eye on him.
Hartman at the table ready to check in. I imagine he's coming for Stravinsky.
Ringland with Ringland with 3 now. It's his first foul shot of the night. Shooting 72% from the line. Second one is good. This is a 3-point opportunity for the freshman out of Bangor. Hartman into the game for the first time in the second half for the Colonels. With the players on the floor right now, Doug, they've outscored Wilkes 31-9. That's what the players currently on the floor for both teams.
Yeah, Marywood gets a lot of guys involved. Young team, they have to. Got to get them some experience.
Marywood leads the bench scoring 14-12.
Hartman trying to post up. Rotella have nothing of it.
Good defense, under 10 on the shot clock. Henkel almost got called for a travel, Hartman. And
think he should have, don't you think, Bob?
Well, he took a little dance lessons there. Yeah, a couple of them. But I'm not on the floor. Keller, 2-on-1. Goes in with the left hand, lays it up.
Boy, he's solid. He knew the defender was coming. He shielded him with his body, laid it in with his left hand.
So just when you see Wilkes maybe getting some momentum, Marywood cuts that right in half. Here, another turnover. Points off turnover, beating the Colonels tonight. Ringland in for the dunk. He gets fouled, though. Lays it up. He'll go to the line to finish it off.
Yeah. Thankfully, the TV timeout is coming because I think Izzy Metz wanted to call one.
Here you see it. The big guy from Bangor bangs it in, and Marywood now up 13 over the Colonels as we have a timeout on the floor.
The rivalry of the week on My Network TV is brought to you by McCann School of Business and Technology.
The NFC wildcard game is this Sunday at Fox 56 as the Detroit Lions take on the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys' offensive line has been a big part of the team's success, but pushing around the Lions' defensive line won't be easy. Pre-game begins at 4, only on Fox 56 in the NFC wildcard game. Nice crowd on hand at the Scanlon Gymnasium, even with the kids off campus. Bob I, Doug Walsh, courtside. Jeremy Ringland for Marywood picking up the pace here in the second half.
Good foul shooter, 72% from the line.
No good, but Tyndall in there, can't get it, and it goes over to the Colonels. So Marywood on a 4-0 run.
Yeah, 13 points is big in this game. You can't shoot it well, and you're struggling handling the ball.
It's the biggest of the night for either team. Blocked away by Dean. Cameron Dean came out of nowhere to swat it away.
Boy, good hustle on the defensive end by Marywood. Wilkes had a wide open layup. There's Cameron Dean with the swat.
Leave Hartman open. Lost him, he lays it up. So
yeah, Cameron Dean got caught in a switch.
Jeremy Hartman with 6 now for Wilkes. Connor Calais now leading the show. Shane Lethand gone to the bench, now have the Pacers.
This lineup, Marywood is scoring challenged here a little bit. Got to be careful.
Left hand kind of stepped out of bounds. Ran out of bounds, caught the ball, tried to get back in, couldn't. Turnover goes over to Wilkes now as Hinkle checks back in.
They didn't realize the shot clock was winding down. Left-hander was looking to pass that ball, and it might not have been enough time on the clock for him to get a shot off.
Little four-court press now from the Pacers.
Zone trap, now the fall back into their defense, their basic man-to-man. Little tempo control, slow them down a little bit. Yeah.
Mason Gross using a couple hands on that one.
He couldn't believe he was that open.
Yeah.
He put 2 hands on the ball on the dribble.
Izzy Metz, I think his face sums it up in this game. What is going on? Been a different Colonel team ever since that Manhattanville loss. And really, I think one of the big losses was Susquehanna. I think Susquehanna lead, Wilkes came back and probably should have won that game, but didn't show up in overtime. Big shot downtown. John Goffredo out of Pius X, the freshman.
Maybe that'll ignite them.
5-0 run for Wilkes. Turnover. Can't get it. Foul on the floor, though.
Cameron Hinkle following up the play. Looks like Connor Galeas undercut him on the rebound.
So some of the starters, Kelleher back in now.
Here you see, undercut him. Galeas, he was going up for the rebound. Took his legs out a little bit.
Back out to Jackson. As Wilkes now making a little bit of a run.
Plenty of time, 18 on the clock. Don't want to rush one, you want to be patient here.
Big offensive board. Cameron Hinkle. Gross double team. Stravinsky lines it up. Hinkle there. No good.
He's going to shoot too, though. They got him on the tip. Hinkle all over the place.
One advantage Wilkes has had tonight has been on the boards.
Oh, they're not giving him 2. They're saying it was on the rebound. I thought they were going to get him on the tip, give him 2 shots, but no, they say it's on the rebound.
Foul against Dean, his second. Rotel back in for Cameron Dean for Marywood. No foul on the shot. Again, big offensive boards for Wilkes. They couldn't control it. 2-on-1. Rotel foul. Got caught, I think, a little bit underneath the basket. Hinkle got him, but they're going to call him on the body. And Hinkle doesn't like it, so that will be his third. 16
Hinkle,
foul.
Yeah, you'll see he was a little bit underneath the basket, and I don't know. You make the call.
I don't know. Mike Rotel, though, has played very well as a freshman. Valley View, shooting 58% from the free throw line this year. His first one's of the night, in and out.
You know, early on, Bob Simmons is trying to find some guys that can score, some units that he likes. And Ringland and Rotel have stepped up, and Alex Barr, and they're kind of finding their own. And
well, I know he wasn't happy about the last 2 games, the loss to Mount St. Mary's and then lost to Lebanon Valley. Felt his team didn't play very well.
Well, you got to get things right because you're coming into league play now starting after this week.
So that's why there were some changes in the starting lineup tonight. It worked early on. It's working so far, but Stravinsky lays it in.
Bob, notice Wilkes seems like they're making a concerted effort to not so much rely on the 3-ball, and it's helping. They're only down 6.
7-0 run for the Colonels, working their way back in.
High screen and roll.
Calais caught from behind as he saw a little lane. And there was a timeout on the floor. Wilkes surging, trying to get back in this one. 7-0 run for the Colonels, but the Pacers still lead by 6. Back in Wilkes-Barre on the campus of King's College, Scanlon Gymnasium. Game 1 of the Cross County Challenge. University of Scranton and Kings will follow this one. Bye-bye, Doug Walsh, courtside. Glad you could join us on a Friday night in the new year, Doug. And Wilkes getting back into a 7-0 run. What has gone right for them?
Well, they're starting to take the ball to the basket, Bob, in the second half, not relying on the 3-ball as much, and it's paying dividends. Scoring down low, getting to the foul line. This takes it's eerily the same as the game last year, where Wilkes was leading most of the game, and then Marywood pulled it out at the end. I wonder if the same thing's going to happen.
Rotel down low. No foul called, still battling. And they'll have a foul on the floor.
Boy, he's strong. Mike Rotel. He's not going to be denied.
Rotel out of Valley View, 6'5", 215. Go to the line to shoot a couple more.
Just inside 12 minutes, Marywood bonus already.
0 for 2 from the floor tonight is Rotel. He still has 8 points. 6 of those came in the first 2 minutes of the game. Can't get the 1-1 to go. So a break for Colonels. Here come Wilkes trying to get back, down just 6 now. Marywood's lead was 13 at one point in the second half.
You know, if you're Wilkes, you want to stay with the game plan. Be patient on the offensive end. Take it to the basket like that, then the kick out.
Weiser can't get it to go. Big rebound from Kelleher. So the three-point shooters having a tough time tonight from both sides. Barr slows it down. Marywood shooting 42% from the floor on the evening. 3 of 10 from the three-point range. But they're being out-rebounded by Wilkes by 12 as turnover again for Marywood.
Credit Steve Straczynski on that. He bottled up Ringland. Alex Barr wanted to dump it to Ringland, and Straczynski stepped into the passing lane, caused the turnover.
Doug, you and I talked about the turnovers for Wilkes. Well, Marywood has 13 on the night, 10 for just Wilkes. And that's really helped them get back into this game. Rotel flying through. Got it. Mike Rotel beat everyone down the floor, and he's paid off.
Alex Barr took a chance throwing that down there. Perfect pass, though. And Rotel with the finish.
First basket since the 15 mark for Marywood. Velasquez had a hand on it, but it goes right to Weiser. Jackson thought about it. Straczynski was falling backwards, couldn't get it to go, and Ringland had a hand in it. Ringland running. No good.
Boy, good break off the long rebound. Barr knew he was there the whole time, Ringland. Ringland just couldn't finish.
Weiser then, as they'll rotate it around, will the Colonels. Barr gets some hands in there. Weiser, no one has been hitting out there, and wisely takes it in. Timeout on the floor, 30-second timeout called by the Colonels.
Now you see Alex Weiser, a little lacking confidence in his jumper, so he decided to take the ball to the basket, and he finishes at the rim. If you're Wilkes, you're starting to feel a little bit better about yourself now. You're playing a little better. You're taking the ball to the basket. You're only down 6.
So this is what Marywood's done so far. 5 and 3 coming in. The losses to Immaculata, but then the last 2. They haven't played the toughest schedule, Doug, but it didn't matter. They need to get confidence. They have some new players. They put 5 wins together, and they open up with 2 straight.
Yeah,
so,
you know, Bob, you like to get some cupcakes, some patsies early on. Give your team some confidence, get them playing together, make them feel good about themselves a little bit. You come out of the gate and you go 0-2, 0-3, playing a brutal schedule. You start pointing fingers, and then all kinds of things can go wrong. So build a little confidence. 2 wins early, get them going.
They've already played 3 games in the CSAC, so they have 3 games under their belt. And now Bob Simmons is imploring his team play good defense, as the Colonels have gone on a run here in the second half, as we might have expected.
Yeah, they're 2-1 in the conference too, Bob. You play a couple to get your feet wet, and then you have 2 or 3 conference games, and then you have the Christmas break and the tournaments like this, and then you get heavy into the league next week.
So it'll be Marywood ball after the timeout.
Little half-court trap there by Wilkes. 1 trap and then done, then play their base defense.
Barr kind of falling away, but right into Shane Ledhand.
Boy, Cameron Dean kept that ball alive, and it just fell right into Ledhand's hands.
So we're under 9 to play here in game number 1 of the Cross County Challenge. Marywood has controlled most of the game, but Wilkes is coming back in the second half. Stravinsky downtown, no good. And a foul.
Kelleher will shoot 1-on-1 down the other end. And now if you're coaching, you're like, boy, oh boy, 75 feet from the basket and you commit a foul. Put the guy in the foul line.
So it'll be a free throw contest the rest of the way, at least for Marywood. That's the 8th foul already on the Wilkes Colonels. Marywood has 4, and they lead by 8 now. Kelleher to the line. The senior gets 1 to go. He has 11 points on the night.
Out of the timeout. Marywood gets a basket. They get a foul shot. Now looks like they're going to get another possession.
Big time rebound. Marywood now trying to extend their 6-point lead. And we have a foul down there.
Weiser with the hand on him.
So Weiser gets his 2nd, 9th now for Wilkes. And now Ledhand goes to the free throw line. Shane on the year, 14 of 18 from there, 77%. And the junior can't get the first one to go. So the Colonels get a break there.
Now if you're Wilkes, you don't want to rush something up. You want to be patient, get a good one.
Well, they need to go inside. They're only 3 from 23 downtown, but Stravinsky changes that. A big-time three-pointer for the Pittston area native. 6-point lead now for the Pacers.
Good inside-outside basketball. Ball goes into Hartman down low. He finds Stravinsky open on the perimeter. Stravinsky nails it.
Connor Calais, no good. But now things drying up on the Marywood side for points.
Dan Tintle, good steal, overplay the post.
And now Coach Simmons says spread it out. Trying to work a little clock. Nope, Ledhand lets go. Back of the rim.
Bob Simmons didn't like that quick shot by Ledhand.
No, he's giving him a stare down.
He ended up getting it back though, so all is well.
Want to work this down at least under 15. Kelleher has a shot. No good. So, timeout on the floor. 6:51 remaining in the game. Pacers holding on to a 6-point lead. We are back. There's what Wilkes has done so far. Doug, they start out 6-1, but they are losers of their last 3.
Yeah, they lost an opener to Stockton, and then they reeled off 6 in a row. 2 of those in the league. So they're 2-0 in the league, although they beat BBC and Eastern, 2 of the weaker teams in the league. But still, 2-0 is 2-0. And then they proceeded to lose the next 3, so they're streaky.
Under first-year head coach Izzy Metz trying to find their way. Using that pressure defense has really helped them early on. Inside, good. Zachary Bruner from Mechanicsburg, and it's a 4-point lead.
Yeah, too strong inside.
Connor Calais, he can dribble the ball. Lead hand inside the line is good for 2.
Marywood needed that bucket.
I guess the question is, do you work the clock or just keep on the gas?
I think it's a little too early to start running some time, Bob. Maybe inside 3 minutes, depending on what the score is, too. 7, 8, 9 points, you'd run some time inside 3 minutes. If it's 2 or 4 points, no, you probably won't.
So Cameron Dean picks up the foul away from the basket, his 3rd. And now Marywood's Bob Simmons is going to call a timeout at 6:05. 32nd, wants to set up the defense.
Yeah, although that shot went in by Shane Ledhand, I think it was a little too early in the clock for Bob Simmons' liking. He's talking about that now.
So Marywood plays tomorrow, and they'll take on Kings tomorrow. But then it's into conference play coming up January 10th, and it's a tough CSAC this year, as always.
Yeah. Keystone's a little bit down. Cabrini's not down, but the rest of them have picked their level of play up. There's about any one of 5 or 6 teams in that division that can win it.
I do think Marywood, though, is a playoff team.
Yeah, they should finish in the top 6, but I mean, outside of Gwinnett, I think Gwinnett's a class of the league, but still, Immaculata's gotten better, Rosemont's gotten better, a lot of teams have gotten better in that league.
We'll actually see Marywood and Keystone last game of the year, Doug, so that could be for a playoff spot or some playoff positioning. That's in February. A lot more basketball to play. Dean reaches over. 2 in a row for him. That's his 4th.
That'll put him on the line. That'll put him in the bonus.
That's right. 1-1 now coming for Wilkes.
No, they're saying it's only the 6th. It's only the 6th.
Okay.
They put the 6 up on the board
that was
pretty
quick.
Yeah,
they're quick here, yeah. Marywood had a 13-point lead in this game. Lead hand all over the floor.
Boy, is he quick.
Stravinsky, no good.
Weiser runs it down. Cameron Hinkle back in the game, pick up some offensive rebounds. He got a good rest.
Well, Wilkes is out rebounding Marywood 40-29, and there's a foul. That will be the 7th on Marywood.
Stravinsky posted up Dan Tintle, a little bit of a size advantage. Tintle tried to get around him. There it is. Yeah, he has his hands on him, and he bumped him a little bit. Stravinsky, a pretty good foul shooter.
So Stravinsky goes to the line, his first free throws of the night, and it goes in and out. So here come the Pacers. They average 77 points per game. They may be a little bit short tonight, but it won't matter if they get the win. Left hand hangs, gets his own rebound, and they'll set it back up. Connor Calais.
Ringland kept it alive. Simmons told him to settle down, take it easy.
2 big offensive boards for the Pacers, and they'll have a new clock.
They run a lot of high pick and rolls.
Calais couldn't get it. Here comes Jackson, 3-on-2.
Ringland with the block.
Foul on the floor on Rotel as
Zach Bruner's going to shoot 2. They got him on the rebound, but I think they got him at the putback. They're going to give him 2 shots on this. Yeah, there it is. See, he's in the act of shooting.
So Bruner goes to the line. shooting 70% on the year. And this one goes straight through.
Rotel still talking to the official about the call. He didn't like it. Not only didn't think it was a foul, he didn't think he was shooting.
Bruner starts with the left hand, shifts to the right.
Good concentration.
And suddenly now it's a 4-point lead.
Yeah, eerily similar to last year's game, Bob.
It's close as Wilkes has been since the 10-minute mark of the first half.
Alex Barr checks back in. He should finish the ball game.
Barr to the cutting Ringland, good.
Boy, good two-man game. Alex Barr sees the floor so well. Ringland makes a tough catch in traffic and the finish.
Ringland putting up some points here in the second half. And we have a travel. 8 for Ringland now, all in half number 2. And full court pressure now put on by the Colonels.
Good D by Alex Barr. Comes in, he's been in the game 10 seconds. He's got a good pick and roll and assist, and he's got a good defensive play causing a turnover.
Tried to do it again with Rotel, couldn't get it. They battle.
That's a help ball.
And that should be our last media timeout of the game. 3:59 left. What will happen the rest of the way? Can Wilkes get back into it, or can the Pacers hold on for the win? We'll find out coming up. Well, we all know about the Kings-Scranton rivalry, but this one is kind of becoming a rivalry too between Wilkes and Marywood. Here's the last 10 meetings or so. Of course, last year, 61-60 last second shot by Lethan, with Bob Simmons having coached and played for the Colonels. And things heating up as they meet once a year now in the Cross County Challenge.
Yeah, that was a huge win last year for the Pacers. Got them kind of off the schneid. Wilkes kind of owned them there for 4 or 5 years in a row. But it's only a rivalry when both teams can win, and now Marywood's showing their gumption.
Well, this is the 4th year of the Cross County Challenge. It started at Marywood 4 years ago. Word is that it is coming back, but it will be played over Thanksgiving weekend and not in the first of the year. So we'll keep an eye on that, as we like to see these local teams meet up, because once this is over, they go their separate ways.
Yeah, with the advent of all these other leagues. Oh, nice slip by Zach Bruner for an easy
Bruner
2.
inside, lead down to 4, Doug.
Yeah, with all these new leagues forming, these local rivalries aren't here anymore. That were here for 30, 35, 40 years, so they're trying to renew those rivalries.
Marywood has led 32 minutes in the game. Wilkes just 2, but they're clawing back are the Colonels. This will be a test for the Pacers to hold on for a young team.
Wilkes has picked up the intensity a little bit on the defensive end now for the last 2 possessions. 2 steals. Ooh, they got it back.
3 on the shot clock. The senior gets it in the lane. Kelleher.
Oh, that's a dagger. You played great defense. You should have had the turnover. The clock is running down, and the ball bounces right into Kelleher's hands, and he knocks it down. Ooh, there's a break there for Wilkes.
Should have been a turnover. Instead, it's going to be a foul on the Pacers.
Rotel holding Hinkle. I'm sorry, Zach Bruner.
So Bruner will go to the line. Short, and I think they're saying should be 1-1. Only 9 fouls. It is Marywood ball. That was the 4th foul on Rotel. I was waiting for the scorekeeper to put it up. 4 fouls on Rotel for Marywood. Pacers get the ball.
Yeah. It was a 1-on-1, and since Marywood got the rebound, they give the ball to Marywood.
Now ball handlers on the floor for Marywood. Barr, you and Lethan, and Kelleher get it in their hands.
But you're also going to have your most confident foul shooters in the game now, late in the game too, Bob, for Marywood.
So 2 in a row from the senior, and that's what you need to him to do.
Boy, you're exactly right. Senior leadership down the stretch. 2 big buckets for the last 2 possessions. No time to panic if you're Wilkes. Take your time, get something you like.
Both teams trying to break losing streaks. Weiser, no good. Stravinsky's hit a last couple way off the mark.
Boy, good defense by Shane Kelleher. Sent him out a little deeper than he normally likes to be.
And Lethand wisely slows it down. We're under 2 here, game number 1, cross-county challenge.
And now you'll start working some clock if you're Marywood. Take your time. Work that shot clock down as long as, whoop.
Maybe not a wise shot by the freshman, but a good one.
Yeah.
He's going to go back the other way. Foul on Marywood.
Yeah, he might have been better served to bring that out, you know, but you got a wide open look. You want to knock it down. If he makes it, it's a 10-point lead and it's almost over. But if you miss it, then you foul and cut it to 6.
So Stravinsky goes to the line. 0 for 1, make that 1 for 2 now on the night. A big one from the junior out of Pittston area. And we'll have a timeout on the floor. Full timeout for the Colonels, and Stravinsky will go back to the line to finish out a possible bonus play.
Now on your cue, Bob Simmons comes with Velasquez, another senior, because you need the senior leadership here.
So here's what we have on tap the rest of the year as we get things grooving in 2015. We'll go high school basketball down in Pottsville. The Crimson Tide ranked 4th in the state in AAA. Shamokin, winners of 8 of 10. Then we'll have some ice hockey for you. That'll be on Friday night at 10 p.m. And then we're in the coaches versus cancer mood. So again, Fox 56 will be the sponsor. We'll hear from Andrew Kettle coming up in game number 2 from Coaches versus Cancer. This year, girls basketball up in the Lackawanna League, and then some boys basketball in the Wyoming Valley Conference. So that's what we have on tap. 1:35 remaining in this game, Doug Walsh. Come down to foul shots, and who can hold on to the ball?
Yeah, now, if you're Marywood, you have your senior leadership in there. You want to run some clock. You want to be strong with the ball, because after 2 or 3 passes and the ball comes over the timeline, I would imagine Wilkes is going to start fouling. Easier to shoot now, shooting 2 shots rather than 1-on-1. Both teams in the double bonus, so it takes a little bit of pressure off you. But you're going to have to, if you're Marywood, you're going to have to make fouls down the stretch.
Marywood has Ringland, Rotel, Kelleher, Velasquez, and Ledhand on the floor. Stravinsky at the line. Jackson out there along with Bruner, Weiser, and it looks like Hartman for the Colonels. And Jackson quickly fouls, and Kelleher will go to the line.
Yeah, Kelleher 5 for 9 on the year. He doesn't get to the line much, but he's a senior.
4 of 5 tonight, Doug, from the line, and has 15 points right now. Leading scorer for the Pacers. 5 of 11 from the floor. Sets his feet and bends his legs and gets that one to go.
Looks good. Looks good as soon as it leaves his hand. I think he'd like to foul Lethand or Velasquez or even Rotel, but
second one in and out. I would agree with that. I don't know if Kelleher's the one you want on the line. You want to probably go one of the freshmen, a little younger player. Stravinsky. Got it! Downtown, timeout Wilkes. Lead cut to 4.
Shooter's mentality. Got to shoot to get hot, shoot to stay hot. Good pump fake. Just created some space, perfect rotation, nothing but net.
Stravinsky 4 of 12, and the 4th is a big one from downtown. It cuts the lead to 4.
Plenty of time left in this game. Now, if you're Wilkes, you have a decision. Do you want to foul, extend the game a little longer, or do you want to play straight up good defense and hope to get a rebound? We'll see what Izzy Metz does coming out of this timeout.
So full court pressure, I'm sure, will be applied from the Colonels.
I think you'd probably like to foul Let Hand or Rotel with this lineup there.
Trying to get a quick double team. And there's the foul by Jackson on Kelleher again.
Well, you know, he's making 1 of 2, so they're gambling that he's only going to make 1 of 2 each time, and you come down and score, it might be enough to get you back in it.
Take 1 for 3 every time, right?
Yeah.
So that's the 4th foul on Jackson. Both teams now in the +1 bonus. Kelleher strong on the first, and now he needs a second.
You know, Bob, after you get to the foul line a couple times, though, you start to feel good, you start to feel confident. You know, I think you might want to go with somebody different next time.
Surprised they didn't foul Let Hand a little bit earlier.
I was too. Yeah. In the trap earlier, yeah.
Yep.
See, Kelleher's feeling a little bit more comfortable at the line now.
Marywood give up the 2, don't want to give up a 3. Weiser downtown, no good. Under a minute to play here in game number 1. Cross-county challenge. Weiser downtown again. A little bit further, and a foul on the floor. Going to go against the Pacers. As big Mason Gross came out with it, he'll go to the line.
That's that might be his 5th on Rotel. I think it is. Yeah, here's the rebound. A good, strong rebound, but somehow, some way, Mason Gross came out of there. And Rotel picks up his 5th, so Mason Gross will go to the line.
Gross 2 for 2 on the night from the line. Pittston area freshman, shooting 50% on the year, so a little bit above that right now, and they'll take the time as Rotel takes a seat. Got things going early on, did Mike Rotel, and gave Marywood that early 6-0 run.
I like this sub. I like Alex Barr coming in. You need a ball handler in this game. Yes, you do need a rebounder, but I think it's more important now to have a good ball handler in the ball game for Marywood.
So the freshman out of Valley View sits with 10 points, and now the freshman from Pittston area goes to the line. And he hits the big one.
Oh, man, he's a good player, Mason Gross. Confident player. Had a great year last year at Pittston area.
So Bob Simmons calls a 30-second timeout, wants to set up what's going to happen after this free throw. If you think you're going to be a foul at some point.
Well, you have to expect pressure. There's no doubt about it. You're going to have some ball denial. Probably get 1 trap and then maybe a foul. Or if they get the ball into whoever's hands they want it, Wilkes has determined who they want to handle the ball. They're going to foul him.
Cardinals, of course, will play tomorrow against the University of Scranton, and then they'll play a little non-conference game against Penn State Wilkes-Barre and back into the Freedom Conference this year. Misericordia de Sales again at the top of the heap. Wilkes in there somewhere.
Boy, Bob, they get a break in the Freedom Conference. They don't start the league play till January 14th, but they're at Misericordia. Trevor Woodward's team down in Misericordia, excellent ball club. At Del Valle, DeSales, at FDU, Kings of Manhattan. Well, there's a stretch there at the end of January. It's going to tell an awful lot about Wilkes' team.
Gross hits the second. Lead down to 4 now for the Pacers. Full court pressure by Wilkes. See if they want to foul, and they do quickly. And they foul the freshman Barr, who had his first start tonight. He contributed 10 points so far. 7 assists, the big one. And just 2 turnovers.
Yeah, he's played a fine game, fine floor game. He sees the floor well, knows where everybody is, makes good passes, makes good decisions. Strong with the ball to the basket.
Got it.
Looked kind of confident on that one.
Barr out of Voorhees, New Jersey, played at Eastern Regional High School. Part of the strong freshman class that Marywood has coming in.
Offense, defense, employed by Izzy Metz. Got a couple of rebounders in the game because you're probably going to have some long shots, need some rebounds. Got a big team in there with Mason Gross, Zach Bruner, Steve Travinsky. It's a big unit trying to get a rebound. They're going to use the pick and pop and try to get Stravinsky or Wise rope for 3.
Gross long range, and Ringland pulls it in. He'll go to the line.
Boy, I like Mason Gross's confidence.
Shooting 62% out there. He's 5 of 8.
That shot looked pretty good all the way, too. I think he was just a little too far. but he got a good look. And you got to take it. With 35 seconds to go in the game, you got to get it up quick.
So Kelleher, the leading scorer from Marywood. Ringland scored all of his points here in the second half. Misses the first, he has 8. So a big one here. Ringland hits the second.
1 of 2. Not too bad. 7 points with 31 seconds to go.
But more importantly, it's a 3-possession game now.
Yeah. Now, if you're Marywood, you got to rebound the long rebound.
You'll give up the 2s. They get the rebound, and they get the foul.
Ringland wise, keep the ball in his hands. 72% foul shooter.
So they spread their wealth, have the Pacers tonight. Shane Kelleher right now is 18. Rotel 10, Ringland 9, looking for more. Ledhand a quiet 9.
Yeah, they share the basketball very well.
And the bench playing very well too. They went 12 deep in the first half. A little shorter as you might expect in half number 2. Ringland now in the double digits, to go along with 7 rebounds.
I think if you're Marywood, you just need 1 more rebound.
You don't want a foul out there. Time ticking away. Weiser in. Marywood, all they have to really do is just get it in to play.
Yeah, they'll probably won't foul and let it go.
And that'll be it. So Marywood is off on a winning note in 2015. They pick up their 6th win of the year. Wilkes will drop to 6-5, and Marywood now 2 wins over the Colonels in this cross-county challenge. So both teams will shake hands. They'll set the clock, and we'll get ready for the University of Scranton and King's College. So Bob Simmons liking this cross-county thing. His team playing very well. We'll talk to Bob and the players of the game, Shane Ledhand and Shane Kelleher, 2 of the upperclassmen here, who have led the way for the Pacers here early on.
Yeah, Bob Simmons. Bob Simmons liking this cross-county challenge. He's 2-0.
So Bob Simmons off to a very good start here in the new year, and he is standing by now with Aaron.
Well, Coach, last year you won by a last-second shot. It wasn't quite as interesting this game, but you've got to be happy with that win.
Always, any win's a good win, and the way our guys have played all season long, they work hard, and I'm happy for them. And well-coached team by Wilkes. Izzy's doing a great job there. They're hard to guard because they got a lot of guys that could shoot, so they really challenged us. I love the way our guys responded to the challenge. They didn't get down when they made the run. They held together. They played for the we and the us, which we preach all the time, as you know, Aaron. I thought we did a nice job defensively. It hurt us early on, but we got it under control, and then we stopped them from offensive rebounding, which led to our runouts.
Definitely one of your best starts ever. What do you attribute that to?
Just these guys buying in and believing. From day one, they believed in the philosophy that we preached. They all said it, the we, us family. We play for the man to our left and our right, and that's what they do every single day. They get on each other in practice, they compete, but at the end they love each other and they're playing for each other. Really, that's what I contributed to, and it's nice that we can make shots.
Definitely. What are you going to tell them when you go in there getting ready to play again tomorrow?
Again, we got to be focused. This game is great. We learned some lessons from this. We'll talk about that. We got to be a little better, post defense. We got to be a little better rebounding the basketball. We'll come out, watch these guys, and be ready to go. It's a quick prep, so you got to know tendencies. You got to get plenty of rest tonight, and here we go.
All right. Well, best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, Bob, back to you.
So Marywood shoots 42% from the floor. Doug, 19 of 30 from the free throw line, and they get a big win, 64-58 over Wilkes.
Yeah, not bad. 19 for 30. It could be a little better, but when you have that big of a shot advantage, 19 for 30 is not bad. And they made them down the stretch, 1 of 2, 2 of 2, and they looked like they were confident with the foul shots down the stretch. Wilkes couldn't get anything going from the outside most of the night. In the second half, they got back in it by taking it down low, and can't say enough about the game Mason Gross played down inside, and just a tough night shooting for those guys.
Well, we have some interviews for you in between the games, so don't turn the channels. Then we'll have the University of Scranton and Kings College. The final score in game number 1 of the Cross County Challenge, 64-58. Marywood wins over Wilkes. Stay tuned. More on the way here in Wilkes-Barre.
The Rivalry of the Week on My Network TV is brought to you by McCann School of Business and Technology.
Welcome back to Kings College. You're watching live college basketball on My Network TV. This is the Cross County Challenge. You just got to see Wilkes and Marywood, and coming up in just a few minutes is Kings and the University of Scranton. I'm Erin Dugan. Thank you so much for joining us for some live college basketball on My Network TV. We're going to be talking to a few special guests here in between games. First is Jerry Greeley, the head baseball coach from Kings College. Jerry, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Erin. Greatly appreciate it.
So let's talk a little bit about the Extra Innings Club, something that your team has been doing for a few years. What's that all about?
The Extra Inning Club is a project that we put together when I first started here 13 years ago. It's a community service-based operation, and we volunteer in schools, at nursing homes, and soup kitchens and different things like that. And the Jared Box is pretty much our staple program, and we've collected 5,137 in the past 5 years, and we're looking to get over 6,000 for this year. It's just a great activity. The entire community at Kings gets involved, the Poconos and Wyoming Valley, and it's just a great thing. Everybody helps out with donating anything they could donate.
That's fantastic. So when you talk about the Jared Box, you have one here. Why don't you tell us what's in it and who you give the Jared Box to?
We donate them to all the hospitals in the Wyoming Valley, and it's this is a basic one here, and some of them get pretty extravagant. It, pretty much just has, you could have stuffed animals in there, crayons, little toys, just stuff to keep the children busy when they're in the in the hospital. And
That's so nice.
It's just a nice thing, and like I said before, it's great to just see so many people go out of their way to help us with the project, and people donate items for it, and many people donate the actual Jared Box itself. They put the entire thing together.
I know community service has always been such a staple at Kings. Why is it so important to the community and your team?
Well, I always try to explain to the players when they first come as freshmen that they don't live in a world of one, that they need to try to help other people just for the sake of helping, not for the sake of, for themselves.
And I know you've actually been nationally recognized for some of your community service efforts. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, President Barack Obama in I think it was 2011 and 2012, we got an award from him for both years, each year having over 1,000 hours of community service. And that's something I'm very proud of, what the players have done over the last 13 years here, and it's just a great operation.
Well, it's fantastic. Always so great to see teams getting involved in community service, and Kings does a great job. Keep it up.
Thank you.
All right, we'll have another special guest when we come right back. Stick around. And welcome back to Kings College. You're watching live college basketball on My Network TV. The Cross County Challenge just wrapped up. Wilkes and Marywood and Kings and the University of Scranton coming up in just a few minutes. I'm Erin Dugan, and I have another special guest with me now. This is Steve Klingman, the Associate Athletic Director for the University of Scranton, and also the boys soccer coach at Abington Heights. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Erin.
Well, you're also the father of Justin Klingman, one of the guards for the University of Scranton. How much success he's had over the last few years. Got to be so proud of him and his work ethic.
Yes, Justin's really improved over the last year. He started his senior year in high school, and then obviously came into Scranton. And the last couple years has started for Carl and's played really well. He obviously puts a heck of a lot of time into his practice and into his performances.
And I know he's kind of a three-point specialist. Would you say?
Yeah, I talked a little about that last night with Justin. He basically, this summer, he probably took about 500 shots a day, 5 days a week, really pretty much throughout the summer. So, you add up the stats, you're looking at 25, 30,000 shots over the summer. So I think with any athlete, practice makes perfect. So I think the more time you put in, the better you're gonna be. So he puts a heck of a lot of time in with basketball.
Absolutely, you can see it on the court. Another thing I wanted to ask you about is your wife, Deanna. She is taking over as interim head coach for the University of Scranton women's basketball team. For Mike Strong, of course, a legend there.
Yes.
Some big shoes to fill, but hey, maybe you can give her some advice. Have you talked to her about it?
Well, we're a really athletic family. I mean, Deanna played Division I a couple years down at St. Joe's, and then obviously played at Scranton her senior year when they won a national title. I think with Deanna, she's got a wealth of coaching experience. I mean, she only has the team this year, but she was Mike's assistant for a fair amount of years. She worked as an assistant up for Buccarelli, Coach Buccarelli up at Abington. She was a head coach at Keystone for a number of years. So and obviously she coached Justin and our daughter and our kids too. So she's got an awful lot of experience, and she puts an awful lot of time into the team.
Best of luck to her with that. I'm sure she'll be great. Some people might not realize just what a coaching legend you were at Scranton. You led them to an NCAA championship game in 80 and 81 and 4 Final Four appearances. What do you remember from that time?
Oh, it was fantastic. I mean, I think we had 12 or 13 NCAA appearances. We had a really, really strong program. We still do have a good program.
Yeah.
I think the key there a lot was recruiting. I was able to recruit some really great athletes. Obviously, coaching-wise, I felt I did a pretty good job with the team, but if you don't have the horses, you don't win games. And we had some great players during those years.
So what's the difference when you're coaching collegiately and high school? I know you're at Abington Heights now. What's the difference in your coaching style for the two?
Well, I'm a little more laid back now than I think I was back in the 80s. I think I was a little more hyper maybe back then. I think now after 40 years of coaching at various levels, both boys and girls, you sort of get an appreciation of the game, and you hope that the players make more decisions, and I'm a little different now than I was coaching at the college level, let's put it that way. And I've had, the good thing is I've had the opportunity to coach my 2 kids, Justin and Derek, that are both college. And then Colin, my youngest son, is playing now, so I got the chance to coach at Colin for 4 years, which he may not like at times, but it's really been fun for me.
That's great. And the last thing I'm going to ask you about Coach Danzig. I know you know him very well, and you've seen the success he's had with the program here. What can you say about him and how he's led the team to so much success?
I'll tell you what, Carl's done an unbelievable job. I really think the rapport he has with the players is really important. The kids love playing for him. Obviously, he's a very good coach. He knows his X's and O's. But I think in coaching, a lot of it is how you deal with your players.
Yeah.
You get the old adage, you treat players the same way. Well, everybody's different. You motivate some kids differently than others. And I think Carl's really done a great job, and I know the kids love playing for him.
Yeah, they do. Well, we can't wait to see what the game will have in store in just a few minutes. University of Scranton, they've never lost a game in the Cross County Challenge. They're 6-0. So we'll see what they can do against King's College in just a few minutes. Stick with us.